Hey everyone, and welcome back to MMA Alerts. First things first, today someone in the UFC called Sean Strickland out. Fighters are still calling out former UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland, even though he has said he wants to wait for another chance at the title. As an example, Nasruddin Imavov told Paul Felder through his translator that he wants to fight Strickland after his win last night. More on that in a moment. I want to get the belt for myself, my family, and everyone else. All I want is to beat Sean Strickland. Come to Paris if you want to fight with me. Should Strickland give up his plan to wait for a title shot and go fight Imavov across the pond? I don't bet on it, but anything is possible. Not only does Strickland not have much to gain by beating Imavov, who is ranked lower, but his win on Saturday is also being talked about and debated a lot. It was clear that Imavov was having a great time with Jared Cannonier in the fourth round, but the big middleweight never lost. Also, it looked like Cannonier was starting to get better when referee Jason Herzog stepped in and ended the fight. Not Imavov, though. He thought that the pause was necessary. This is what Imavov said to ESPN through his translation after the game. Not at all an early pause. The judge is in charge of deciding if the fighter can keep going. He had already taken a lot of damage, and if the fight had gone on, he would have taken even more. I think it was the right thing to do to end it. However, many people were critical of Herzog for stopping the fight when he did. Some people may agree with Imavov's point of view. Look it over. Terrible. It's way too early to say who won. The ref should never be in charge of a big event again. When fights like this happen, I sometimes wonder if the UFC is fixed. Even though Herzog is a great judge, it looks like he jumped the gun a bit, don't you think? What do you think? Let's look at how Leon Edwards helped Tom Aspinall get ready for UFC 304. At UFC 304, Tom Aspinall will meet with Leon Edwards, who is also from England. It turns out that the interim heavyweight champion is getting ready for his fight with help from the welterweight king, but it's not how you might think. Some of you may already know that Aspinall is set to meet Curtis Blades on the July 27th card in Manchester, England. Edwards, on the other hand, is set to meet Balal Mohammed. However, because it is a pay-per-view event, the UFC has decided to hold the event at the usual time for North America. You don't need to know a lot about location to figure out that this means the card will start in the UK very early in the morning. Because of this, the main event and co-main event probably won't start until around 5 a.m. local time. Oh no, we're back to how Edwards is helping Aspinall get ready for UFC 304. When the temporary champion recently talked to the Title Sports Network, he said the following. During the conversation, Aspinall also said that the fight times are probably harder for the fans than for the fighters. In the end, fans probably won't feel any adrenaline because no one is trying to hit them in the cage. It can't be easy to fight at dawn, though. Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington are next on the list by Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov hasn't fought yet in 2024, but it's clear that the rising middleweight is eager to get one. For example, the boxer who had never lost before recently said that Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington had dodged him. Following his easy win over Stephen Thompson at UFC 296 in December, Rakhmonov needs to fight again. His overall record is now an impressive 1-8-0, and that win was his sixth in the cage. He was born in Uzbekistan. Well, the 29-year-old recently made the following note on X. If you're not really into MMA, you might not know that JDM stands for another Jack Della Maddalena. The comment was made at an interesting time, though, because it was about the Usman call-out. This week, video from a documentary series about the UFC went viral. In it, Usman's trainer Ali Abdelaziz was heard saying that the former champion would rather fight Stephen Thompson next than Rakhmonov. And since the show was filmed not long ago, Usman may have changed his mind. It will be interesting to see if he or Colby accepts the dare. It's likely that not many people are ready to fight Rakhmonov right now. It's time for Yuri Prochaska to tell us some big news. Yuri Prochaska is another fighter who has been the subject of recent talk about who and when he'll face next. Alexander Rakic was knocked out in the second round by the former light heavyweight champion in April. This was Yuri's first win since November when Alex Pereira knocked him out. A recent post on social media by MMA legend Grabaka Hitman says that Prochaska's next fight is set, but it doesn't say who it is against. It will be interesting to see who steps across from him in the cage. It has been said recently that the UFC might want to have Prochaska and Pereira fight again. Otherwise, it could be Magom Ankalaev. If the UFC goes that way, though, Pereira will probably have to wait a little while longer since Prochaska and Ankalaev are ranked number 1 and 2. A fighter in the UFC tells shocking news. While they're not in training camp, it's no secret that many fighters like to go out and party after their matches or do other things they enjoy. But it's not often that you find out that in 2024, a boxer smokes the day of the fight, that is, before the fight. Yes, there was a video clip going around lately that showed UFC welterweight Carlos Prates lighting up a cigarette in Louisville where he fought on Saturday night. Also, after Prates won by submission at the event, he told Full Send MMA that he has been smoking for years. It's pretty strange to hear this, right? Based on what Prates said, you have to wonder if the guy really does smoke a lot. Even though there are health concerns and risks, Prates must be doing something right. The Brazilian boxer has won 11 fights in a row. After a big win, what will Raul Rosas Jr. do next? Raul Rosas Jr. do next? Got another win at UFC Louisville, moving further away from his only loss so far. Now, it will be interesting to see what the highly regarded prospect does next. At the event, Rosas went up against Ricky Tercios. You may have cursed yourself when Tercios told Raul to F off instead of touching hands if you saw the fight. He had a bad day because he was knocked out in the second round. Before the fight, Rosas and Tercios were said to have been angry with each other because their first fight earlier this year didn't work out. Rosas told the press what he said to Tercios after he knocked him out during the press conference after the fight. Rosas can now focus on what's coming up instead of his fight with Tercios. Rosas, who was 19 years old, was asked about his plans for the future and said that he wants a big fight. He also said he would like to fight at the UFC's next event at the Sphere in Las Vegas, which is on Mexican Independence Day. It wouldn't be strange to see Rosas Jr. fight on that show. Rosas is from Mexico, so it makes sense. Also, the promotion is still putting together the lineup, and putting him on the main show would be a great way to get even more attention. After his huge win over Devin Haney in April, boxing star Ryan Garcia is still in the news, but for all the wrong reasons. If you follow boxing, you know that Garcia shocked many people in the fight sports world when he beat Haney. In a highly awaited fight, Garcia knocked out Haney 3 times and won by decision. Garcia, on the other hand, tested positive for illegal drugs after the fight, which stained his huge win. Garcia has said that he did not know he was using any Ps. Since then, Garcia has been back in the news because he was arrested in Beverly Hills for reportedly damaging a hotel room. Officers took the 25-year-old person into custody because they thought he might be drunk or high. Since Garcia has never been shy about the fact that he likes to party, this news might not come as much of a surprise to you. What's really interesting is that Garcia seemed to know that something bad was going to happen on June 8th. Oh, look at the March post he made. We need to wait and see what Garcia says. It looks like it will be fun. Jamal Hill told Alex off for making fun of him while he was celebrating, so Alex fired back at Jamal. The last time we talked, Alex told Jamal this. I'm not sure why he's doing this so late, to be honest. It's been almost 2 months. Of course, that's what people do right away, but he may have only just woke up for the call. Before his UFC 303 fight with Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor gets a warning. There have been rumors lately that Conor could fight for the title if he beats Michael Chandler. In a recent interview, Islam Makhachev's trainer, Ali Abdelaziz, talked about the possible matchup. He thinks the fight could happen, but Conor needs to stop drinking and using drugs first. This is what Ali told Conor. Listen up, it's possible. But, Conor needs to stop drinking and using drugs and pay attention. Indeed, that person was a 2-day fishing winner. He is skilled, but is the hard work there or not now? You need to ask him this too, what people say. DC knows that John is a snake. You seem to be getting better. Not real John makes me cringe. Change. It's great that so many people stand up for John. It's great to see more support for LGBTQ people in this area. Some people say that DC is always being mean, but John Jones is always so damn mean. Hunter lied to Aljo to get him to agree to fight so that their favorite golden boy could win. Wow, he's definitely a good choice to replace Dana. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for latest fight updates.